Good evening, guys, and welcome to this week's ghost story from around the world. And tonight's ghost story is going to be all about Casa Loma in Canada. The majestic Casa Loma, which means hill house in Spanish, is a Gothic revival style house that stands gracefully on the brow of the Davenport Hill in Midtown Toronto, Canada. Today it serves as a museum and is one of Toronto's most distinctive landmarks and a must-see on the list of places to visit there. It was built between 1911 and 1914 for the financier Sir Henry Pellatt and cost $3.5 million and took 300 workers to construct it. With 98 rooms, 30 bathrooms, 25 fireplaces and much more, it covers a 25-acre estate, and at the time it was built, it was the largest private residence in Canada. Unlike many homes built during that time, it was designed with several technological features that we today take for granted. For example, it was wired for electric power and had its own telephone exchange with 59 telephones scattered around the property. As well as that, the original ovens in the kitchen were so big that they could cook an entire ox in them. Casa Loma was also equipped with several secret passages and stairwells, the most interesting of which is an 800-foot long tunnel that connects the castle with the stables, which used to house Sir Henry's fine horses, and it was built because he did not like people going near them. Plus it was probably safer as well, as the stables are situated across the road from the house. Once the building was completed, Sir Henry spent a further $1.5 million on furnishing the castle lavishly and filled the castle with artwork from around the world. Sir Henry was born to British parents in Kingston, Ontario on January 6, 1859. Ambitious from his youth, he left his studies at the Upper Canada College when he was 17 to pursue a career in his father's stock brokerage business as a clerk. That same year, he also enlisted as a rifleman with the Queen's Own Rifles Regiment. By the age of 23, he had become a full partner within the firm, which was renamed Pellatt and Pellatt. And that same year, on June the 15th, he also married Mary Dodgson, whom he had met 3 years previously, and together they had a son, Reginald, who was born in 1885. Sir Henry gained immense wealth from founding the Toronto Electric Light Company in 1883, which brought electricity to the street lights of Canada's largest city. Business boomed, and soon he was the chairman of 21 companies, owned railroads, generated electricity from Niagara Falls, and was knighted for his military service in 1905 by King Edward VII. In 1910 he took the entire 600-man regiment to England for military training at his own expense to mark the regiment's 50th anniversary, and later went on to become the regiment's honorary colonel and upon his retirement, Major General. By 1911, Sir Henry had a fortune of $17 million, and he decided to build his dream castle and drew up plans with the architect E.J. Lennox. In the winter of 1913, Sir Henry and Lady Mary installed themselves into their new home while it was still under construction. And despite the fact that Lady Mary suffered from arthritis and diabetes and was often confined to a wheelchair, they turned Casa Loma into a social hub and threw some of the most lavish parties seen in Toronto, with Lady Mary being created the Chief Commissioner of the Girl Guides of Canada in 1912. She also welcomed a troop of local guides to the house and grounds, and they continued to become frequent visitors. By 1920, the Canadian electricity market was made public, destroying Sir Henry's main source of income, and the economy was in a slump after the end of World War I. Unfortunately, his finances could not sustain Casa Loma especially as the city raised property tax from $600 a year to $1,000 a month. And after a series of financially unsound moves, Sir Henry's wealth began to evaporate and his business went bankrupt, owing $1.7 million to the Home Bank of Canada. Sir Henry was faced with a heartbreaking decision, and faced with a massive tax bill, he had no choice but to auction off his prized possessions for a fraction of what they were worth and to abandon his dream home. After the city seized Casa Loma in 1924, he and Mary moved to their farm in King Township, just north of Toronto. Sadly though, Lady Mary passed away suddenly from heart failure, or as some said, of a broken heart, on April the 24th of that year, aged 67. However, Sir Henry, now aged 68, chose to remarry again in 1927 to Catherine Welland Merritt, a childhood friend. But sadly in the spring of 1929, she became very ill with cancer and spent the last 6 months of her life in the home that she shared with Sir Henry. Sir Henry spent his final days living with his chauffeur and his family, as there was no one else left to care for him. He died shortly after his 80th birthday in his chauffeur's arms on March the 8th, 1939. Thousands of people lined the streets of Toronto to witness his funeral procession, and he was buried at Forest Lawn Mausoleum, north of Toronto, with full military honours befitting a soldier who had given so much for his country. Now, after Sir Henry left, Casa Loma remained vacant while proposals were considered for its future use. In 1927, William Sparling was granted a long-term lease, and for a short time, Casa Loma operated as a luxury hotel where a room could be rented for as long as a guest wanted at the price of $6 a day. The former grand residence of Sir Henry and Lady Mary was also equipped with dancing and dining halls. Even Lady Mary's former suite was converted into a billiards room, and it was during that period that it became a popular night spot for wealthy Americans. Unfortunately, the hotel failed and closed down in 1929. When the city acquired the estate back in 1933, it was commonly considered an eyesore, and popular opinion was that it should be demolished. While city councillors decided what to do with the building, it was stripped of any remaining valuables, boarded up and abandoned. During the years that it lay empty, it was vandalised by local children who threw rocks through every single window. The pipes froze and burst, which caused the floors and the walls to warp, and restoring it was going to be a major project. However, in 1937, the Kiwanis Club of Casa Loma, or KCCL for short, petitioned the city to allow them to take over the building, restore it and operate it for the benefit of the public. This was permitted, and so they began the painstaking works of clearing out truckloads of filth, repairing all the damage, and even finishing off parts of the castle that Sir Henry never got to do. For the cost of 25 cents, you could walk through the castle, climb the towers, slip through the secret passages, and stroll through the gardens. For the next 74 years, it remained in their hands as a tourist attraction. From 1997 to 2012, the castle underwent a massive $33 million exterior restoration that was funded by the city. And in January 2014, the city ended a long-term lease with Liberty Entertaining Group, which agreed to spend a further $7.4 million on upgrading the castle. From strange apparitions to spooky voices and unseen grabbing hands, Casa Loma has more than its share of ghost stories. The most common sighting is that of the White Lady, who usually appears on the second floor, but has also been seen in the basement. She is believed to have been a maid during the time Sir Henry and his wife occupied the building, and also around the time when about 60,000 people in Toronto died of influenza. There have also been sightings of Sir Henry and Lady Mary too, who must have returned after their deaths, as I guess neither of them really wanted to leave their dream home. On one occasion, a young boy reported seeing a man looking out of a second floor window, looking angry, and when he told a staff member, they instantly panicked as the second floor was meant to be locked down. She asked the boy to describe the man, and the boy's description matched that of Sir Henry. She then took the boy to look at some old photographs and asked him if he recognised the man in any of them. The boy pointed to a photo of Sir Henry and said, "That's him. Why is he so mad?" The ghost of Sir Henry has also been seen walking in the conservatory or sitting at his desk, looking preoccupied. A ghostly woman, believed to be Lady Mary, has been seen walking in the grounds. And the castle's elevator, which was installed for Lady Mary's convenience due to herself being in a wheelchair, is said to have a mind of its own. Children's voices have also been heard within the house. Perhaps they are the echoes of the girl guides that would visit Lady Mary on so many occasions. The apparition of a man wearing a fedora hat and trench coat has also been seen upstairs, and he is believed to be from the hotel era. The tunnel leading to the castle stables is where another ghost is said to run, and many people have reported feeling as though they have been grabbed or had their hair pulled. People have also reported hearing a grumpy male voice sighing and muttering near the stables, and he is believed to have been a friend of Sir Henry's who was hired to look after his prize-winning horses. As well as that, people have also reported seeing and hearing the sounds of horses within the tunnel. And that concludes tonight's ghost story from around the world. Do hope you enjoyed it as usual, guys. I took great pleasure in telling you all about it. As always, if you did enjoy it, please do remember to give this video a thumbs up. And if you would like to ask any questions, please do so below. And that's it for tonight, guys. Take care, sleep tight, don't let those bed bugs bite.